Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar, Top 5 ShareFile Shortcuts to Save You Time. My name is Michelle, and I will be your moderator. Well, with me today, I have Liz Gillum and Andrew Stewart. With the passion for helping customers in the tech industry, Liz is responsible for developing programs and content to help make ShareFile easier for you to use, and Andrew works with customers like you every day to ensure your account is being optimized. Welcome, Liz, and welcome, Andrew.
Happy to be here.
Hey, good afternoon.
Well, on our agenda today, we will be reviewing how to automatically safeguard your files within Microsoft Outlook, our print to share file feature, sync, the desktop app, and finally, our mobile app. We're going to review a ton of great content today, so please ask questions and share your comments by using the question and answer panel at any time during our webinar. We also have Sam, Rebecca, and Chris on the line who will be answering questions throughout the webinar, and then we will have a live Q&A at the end, and we'll get through as many questions as we can. Additionally, we are recording today's session, and we'll be sharing that recording out with everyone shortly after the conclusion of our webinar. All right, Liz, let's get started.
Thanks so much, Michelle, and welcome everyone to the webinar today across the country and around the world. At the top of every webinar, I like to start with kind of reframing what we do here at Citrix ShareFile. And so I just wanted to cover off a little bit of the value that we bring to you as customers. And so as we're going through our shortcuts and talking about ways to upload and download and share files faster across your organization and your clients, you kind of get an idea of where we're coming from. And so Andrew, if you'll give us one more click there, we'll talk a little bit about what we do. At Citrix, we empower our customers to provide secure and reliable access to apps and data anywhere, on any device, across any platform. Vision. We were founded on the principle of enabling businesses and IT professionals to work the way you want. So think of that as a theme as we go through this presentation today, talking about different shortcuts. The goal is that you find something that helps you move faster and interact with ShareFile and collaborate in your environment using the processes you use today. And since then, ShareFile has grown at a rapid pace. We're actually past 70,000 business customers. We need to update that stat and have more than 20 million users. 99% of the Fortune 500 are represented in the ShareFile user base too. And so what is ShareFile? ShareFile is a collaboration tool that allows you to do 4 key things, and that's what you're seeing in the 4 circles there. First and foremost, we are secure cloud storage. We are backed by bank-level security that keeps your documents safe, both at rest and in transit, so no matter where you're sharing them, internally or externally, you can rest assured they are safe. We apply management that allows you better organization and control. We can give you permissions on who can see what at what times. We could have a whole webinar just talking about that. Your teams internally and your clients externally to talk to each other, to exchange documents, and to work in a single workplace. And it's on any device. We're going to talk a lot about this today and the interoperability between a desktop, a tablet, or a mobile device. So that's a little bit of a sense of where we are today, and I'm going to pass that back to Michelle then to get a sense of where you are today.
Awesome. Thanks, Liz. Yep, we wanted to get a feel for which customers we have on the phone today or on the webinar. So how do you get your share files into ShareFile today? I'm going to launch a poll, and you all can give me your responses. Are you using mainly the web app? Are you living in Outlook and using the Outlook plugin? Print to share file. We have found that print to share file is a lesser known feature, but we love it, and we'll definitely be reviewing that today as we went over in the agenda. We also have sync to share file and our desktop app. And finally, mobile apps. Are you someone on the go all the time? Client meetings, that sort of thing. Right. We do have a lot of customers on today, and the answers are coming in fast. We are looking at web app is looking like the highly used, and then Outlook plugin, which we see a lot of. Outlook plugin usually is #1, so right now we have web app winning. Liz, can you see these responses?
I can't, but I'm excited to hear those results.
All right. I am going to shut the polling down so we can share those results.
Oh,
So as you
look
can
at that.
see, yep, 40% through the web app and then 34 email plugins. So we're excited that you're here today. That means we're going to be able to share with you more information about print to share file, sync, and desktop app, and especially our mobile app.
Great. Thanks so much, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
So those are great results, and thank you so much for sharing that information. It really helps us just kind of get an idea of what you're using today, what's best known, and I am really excited when I see some tools like our mobile app that are going to be fun surprises for some folks. We'll teach you a little bit more about what those are. All right, we're going to talk about 5 of our core apps today, and Andrew, if you can click us into the next slide. I want to start out with the most basic question. I know this will come up today, and so before we show you anything, the most important thing is, how do I on our standard ShareFile business plan? If you don't see anything that we discussed today available in your account today, please reach out to our support teams. We'd be happy to take a look at your account and either help you find it or get you on a plan where they are a little more available. For most of you on the phone today, if you log into your web application today and in the upper right corner, you'll see that little icon that says apps. Click on that, and that's where you'll see the apps available for download. They're free and included in your account and will be sorted by items available for Windows users, Mac users, mobile devices, and then another tab for integrations. If you are a longtime ShareFile customer, we're going to have some exciting news today about Mac users. A number of our apps and shortcuts have been updated for Mac users, so stay tuned for some new results there. All right, so that's a little bit about where to go find these apps. And next, that means we can start to dig into the apps themselves. And first and foremost was the second most popular item that you guys voted on, and that is the email plugin for Microsoft Outlook. This is really popular because understanding the world today, we all but if we're exchanging files and just attaching something in Outlook without using ShareFile, that means it's being shared in an unsecured or an insecure manner. By using the ShareFile plugin to your email Outlook client, we're going to have bank-level encryption in transit and at rest. We can maintain SOC 2 compliance for those of you for which that is an issue. And most importantly, we can do this across Windows and Mac clients. I know several folks will have a question about other email clients. And while we're not going to demo it today, it is important to call out that we've had a great new release for Gmail. Christy, I see your question there. And yes, there is a Gmail plugin for email clients as well. So think of this as a more secure way to start sending and sharing and collaborating on files within Outlook. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Andrew to show you it in real life.
Awesome. Thanks so much. So as Liz said, the first thing we have to do is download that plugin for Outlook. So once you run through the installation prompt in the web application, you're going to need to reset Outlook. The resetting right-hand corner, when you open up your home screen, you should see this green ShareFile S. Green means go in a lot of countries. The plugin is now successfully installed, and you can click into these options and see different ways to customize the system. So we have different ways to control how easily your end users access the files in which you send them in a secure fashion. So we can make them enter their name and email address for record keeping purposes. We can make them sign in and actually create a client account that we can then manage on the back end. Or we could allow anonymous access, so whomever has that link is able to open the files securely. And the same goes for requesting files back from your customer. So when I click in and open up a new email, I'm sure you can see this here. We should see 4 new green buttons. First one in the top left-hand corner is a green padlock. the ability to encrypt the actual body of the email. That is only used if you have something sensitive in the contents of your email, something you physically typed in here. And you want to make sure that sensitive information is, it would close the lock, and then the sending icon just below it tells you the file or the contents is being sent securely. Now, if I move to the right-hand side of the message, I can attach files using the Attach Files green paperclip from my ShareFile account or from my computer. So the ease of access here for all of your live is very, very convenient. I can also, coming just down below this, request a file from my customer by clicking that button once, and it inserts a hyperlink and default text, which routes back to my ShareFile portal. So the customer can then click that link, send you a W-2, a 1099, and a W-9, any kind of sensitive information back directly to you. And then lastly, which will be covered in a later session, the workflows initiating approvals, one of the custom workflow features within ShareFile.
Thanks, Andrew. One of the common questions we get around this, and I hear all the time, is how do I know when my information is sensitive or secure? When do I know when it needs to be accounting and you're sending tax documents all the time? Of course, those have highly secure information, but sometimes we're not thinking about it. Maybe it's proprietary information to your business that, if in the wrong hands, might leak sensitive information, but it's not something as obvious as a bank account number. As a best practice, some companies say, you know what, we just send documents through ShareFile, and we default the email encryption item on all the time. And it really takes that element of having to think about it and consider security in every file out of it. It becomes instrumental to your workflow. In other environments, maybe you toggle these on and off, really dependent on the communication. This is particularly applicable to the email encryption piece, where you are actually securing the body of your email in addition to the attachment. That may be something that you only do in very specific circumstances where it's obvious that an item is secure. But think about that in your business, and think about it relative to your colleagues and employees and clients, and how you can simplify this for them and make a policy. Either we use it, we don't use it, or here are the really clear use cases. Send you files. That is also something you can do through the Microsoft Outlook plugin, or just as a default in your email signature, where you've got your name. Thank you, Andrew. He's highlighting it here. Just like you would save your email signature at the bottom of every email, by default, you can also put an upload link that says, click here to upload files, or click here to send me your tax documents, whatever your use case is. And that's just an always present reminder to your clients that that's how they communicate with you. So pull that up, make it somewhere obvious, and just give them every opportunity to really engage in the most secure channels. All right. So that's the Outlook plugin for Microsoft, and the Gmail plugin is available today for those of you asking as well. We also demoed this in a Windows environment, but as a reminder, this plugin is available for Mac users as well. If you're a longtime ShareFiler, that may be news, but it looks and behaves very similarly.
Hey, Liz, before you move on to print to ShareFile, can you just briefly explain why some of our customers would be seeing, not be seeing the encryption padlock? Can you just explain that feature briefly and what our customers should do if they're interested in that?
Great question, and thank you, Michelle, for feeding that one in. Yes, we should mention by default, the email plugin for Microsoft Outlook is for file security. That's its first and foremost function, and everyone will have that. The email encryption piece is an add-on available on select ShareFile plans. If that's something that you do not see in your environment today, please just go ahead and chat your name into the Q&A area or call our support team, and we are happy to help you either get onto a plan where that is included or take a look at your account and just confirm that you're seeing the right thing.
Thanks, Liz.
All right, so we're going to flip from one of our best known plugins to one of our least known. And I think of this as one of the best kept secrets at ShareFile. It tends to be really popular once folks know about it, and it's called Print to ShareFile. This is a great application for those of you that work inside documents all day or work in a highly regulated industry where maybe you don't have download rights to a desktop, but it allows you to share a document or save a document into ShareFile without leaving the document itself. And it works just like a print driver. So I'm just going to pass that one off over to Andrew now. This is really easier to see live, but we hope it's something you like.
Awesome. Thanks, Liz. So that application, the Print to ShareFile, is also found within the ShareFile apps screen. I'm just going to track down my screen here. So since I have a PowerPoint here just so conveniently, I want to send this file into ShareFile and ultimately send it out for an email directly from that print driver. So within the file that I want to send or save, I'll hit File, Print. And what I'll do is I'll come over here and I'll choose Citrix Print to ShareFile. We see that as the destination printer. So when I come up and click Print, it's going to go through a series of login prompts, and then we're going to see a box pop up. And this box is going to be a ShareFile action screen here. So what it just did in the background is it logged into your account because when you installed the tool originally to this tool, so it knows it's working with andrewstewart.sharefile.com because that's the account I had synced to this particular machine. And you can't see that box, so let me show it to you. Here we go. You should be able to see it now. So this file upload prompt allows me to rename the file here. PDF. And we see that the destination folder is here. So what we see is a small subset of my actual ShareFile account. From here, I'm able to navigate into a particular customer's folder. So let's say this is a tax return or a 1099 or an 8879. And I want to go ahead and file it away securely. I can click through this structure and find the particular tax client that I want to be able to have this information in their folder, or I can create one. Let's say it's a new customer. I'm doing this on the fly. I can also create a destination for that upload. So I would choose my location and I would hit upload only. Now, since this is such a underutilized application, there's a couple really cool features here if I click more actions. So this gray button here, I click it and it comes with yet another window where I can initiate an email directly from my ShareFile web portal of this file to a recipient, either a client or a one-time recipient. I can encrypt the body of that message and send it to them. I could also send this file out for signature. So those of you that have a right signature user profile have a direct integration with ShareFile. And if you don't, we can certainly introduce you to the people that do. But I could initiate a file for e-signature, digital signature, directly from this screen. But for now, I'm going to upload it. It gives me a notification. This has been successfully uploaded to this particular folder. And if you have client users assigned to that folder, they will get a notification, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Client, your new tax return has been uploaded to this folder. Click here to download it. And they're utilizing ShareFile seamlessly.
Awesome. Thanks, Andrew. And just want to make sure you did flip back to those slides for us, Andrew. We want to make sure we're back on the next one. Thanks so much. And just did want to apologize if anyone was having difficulty hearing me a little bit earlier. Hopefully we flipped audio options and we sound a little better now. programs and applications where you don't want to save the document manually to another location, this is a great way to send it straight to ShareFile from within QuickBooks, for example, without having to save a permanent version somewhere else first. So keep that one in mind, especially those of you in specific industries. All right, number 3, let's keep going here. Next up on the list, we're going to talk about sync to ShareFile. And this is one of my favorite. This is what I run all day, every day, because I call it set it and forget it. This is a great tool for those of you that save all of your documents personally to your computer, but you also want a copy of them in ShareFile. Maybe you're still collaborating on them internally with other customer or other colleagues. You're sharing externally and need added security every time you share a document. You want to make sure that there is a cloud version of your document available at any time that you need, but you want a local copy of that document as well. Sync to ShareFile is your tool. It's something that you set up once, and then moving forward, it allows you to work with files online and offline. So if you are in an airplane and you don't have internet access, you have access to your files, but as soon as you land and reconnect to the internet, it's going to save up those changes or anything that happened to those documents back to the ShareFile cloud. So this is really easy. Set it up once, never worry about it again. And Andrew, can you show us what this looks like?
Absolutely. So let me navigate here to my desktop. We don't need to keep that. So when I go into my File Explorer, after I've successfully uploaded the tool, or I'm sorry, download the tool from that apps page within ShareFile, I'm going to see a ShareFile S drive here at the bottom left-hand side of my screen. So what I'm going to see is a direct representation of my folder structure in ShareFile. So when you initially implement ShareFile, you spend all your time and energy getting folders created and data into those folders, assigning rights to those folders, and making sure it's clean and organized. Now, what you can do is once you get that information up there into ShareFile once, download the sync tool and run it, and now you've instituted a local copy of particular folders or sets of folders or the So if I click in here to my shared folders, I see all of the folders that I have spent all my time creating. So if I come into the financial document, let me see if I can find a Word document. Awesome. So I open up this just like I would a file on my local computer, because technically it is. I can make changes to this. And when I hit save, it updates that location in the folder. So if I were to go back into my ShareFile web portal and look for this particular chat log, you would see that there is a new version created today at this time and date, and you would have a record keeping of all of those particular versions every single time that file has been touched throughout the life of it until you actually delete the file.
Awesome. Thanks, Andrew. So again, that's a set it and forget it. What I love about this is that it's embedded in your current navigation and your file structure that you'd be using all day, every day. So that's another great thing to kind of set up once if you don't want to think about ShareFile and you're just saying unanimously, I want to store all files in the ShareFile cloud. That's the place to do it. Now, number 4 on our list is going to be very similar, and it's called the file environment. The difference is, in this case, it's not storing a copy locally to your hard drive as well. It's just in the cloud. Think of this like an app on your mobile phone. You pull it up, it kind of behaves like an app on your iPhone, and it is calling out to the cloud to check your files, but just is really easy to access from your desktop. The reason you would want to use this over something like Sync is if you don't want to store a local copy of that document on your desktop. So a great example of this would be you have thousands and thousands of files, and frankly, there's not room. Or maybe you are trying to access files across your business and your industry. It's not just me you're worried about anymore. You have hundreds of employees, and it would never make sense to store locally. This is all cloud-based, but it's just a really easy point of access on your desktop, just like a little app. One of the call-outs I will make on this one is that it is also available on Mac. The screenshot that you're seeing there, which looks and behaves, again, much like a mobile phone app, is an example of the Mac version. There's also a Windows version that is just set to behave a little. Just wanted to give you visibility that you can use Sync if you'd like a local copy of your document in addition to a cloud copy, or the desktop app if it's all in the cloud and you just want easy access. All right, we're going to bring this one home. Number 5 is probably one of the easiest to explain, and that's just our mobile app. We understand you're on the go all the time, and ShareFile is available on your smartphone or your tablet to access files anywhere. You are able to view, edit, annotate, and share files on the go, download them when you need them, pull them up at a client site without referencing your entire laptop. It's just a free and easy thing to have on hand at any time. Let's take a look. All right, Andrew, do you have that one pulled up, or should we reference a little bit more the download?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about the download.
Okay, sure. Sorry, guys. Thought we had a screenshot there. But this is really easy. Much like the desktop app, it is something you go to the Apple Store or to iTunes or to Google. Included on almost every plan. This is a really good one if you have a lot of remote employees on the go. If you're working in a thin client environment where you just need something a little bit more nimble. We see a ton of it in construction, manufacturing, architecture, healthcare even, where folks are kind of on smaller devices on the go all the time. I tend to use it to check in on apps when I'm referencing them on the fly, but I'm still using Sync on my desktop every single time I return to an office environment. So just a great one to keep in mind, really easy to get set up and included in your packages today. All right, so that brings us to the 30-minute mark, and we want to check in and see how you're doing. We have talked about 5 different apps, and one of the biggest things I want you to take home today is you may not need all 5. The goal here is to give you flexibility to work the way you want within your business environment. For me, I use the mobile app, I use Sync to ShareFile, and I use the Microsoft Outlook plugin. You may use one, you may use all 5. That's really up to you and your environment. So think about, you have email plugins, you have the print to ShareFile, desktop app, Sync to ShareFile, and the mobile apps. And so we want to know, after seeing these, which shortcut are you most likely to use?
Thanks, Liz. I am looking to pull up poll number 2, and it should be launching any second now. All right. So the poll is in progress. If you could let us know what you've learned today and if you'll be sticking with what you know or if you're going to be trying something different now. It's coming in fast and furious that the Outlook plugin will be highly utilized, which it was our second utilized in the beginning of the webinar. So that's great. We have some more people who are going to be interested in using the Outlook plugin. Also, print to ShareFile, it jumped up. I'm so excited to see that. So I'm going to end the polling and I'm going to show Liz these results because I know she'll be excited too. So as you can see, yep, print to ShareFile jumped up. It was very, very low in the beginning, but now you all know about it and now you can use print to ShareFile when you are using your local apps that you use every day for your jobs. You can just go to that print to ShareFile feature instead of having to transfer in and out of app after app after app to get things to and from your ShareFile. All right. So we are on to questions, and I know you all have so many questions, and thank you so much for typing them in and being engaged with us this entire time. I'm going to kick it off with, we had a question come in actually to our webinar's inbox before the webinar, so thank you to our customer who pre-submitted a question. And Liz or Andrew, you can take this one. Basically, it's just on security, and how would you as a ShareFile user position the security features to a client to make them understand why you use ShareFile and why it's beneficial to them as your client that you use ShareFile to keep their files and their data secure?
Sure, I can take that one. And it's a good question, and we get it all the time. The first thing I do is reference what we see in the news. As we all know, security is a big deal, and it is becoming more the norm in headlines than the exception. And a lot of what we see is in large-scale examples, things from companies and environments we shop at every day. But at a small scale, there's a lot of similar security scenarios that we need to protect and help educate our clients and our other internal colleagues of the importance of this. The first thing I'd say in terms of securing or pacifying any concern about security is ShareFile is truly backed by one of the largest security companies in software today with Citrix. We have bank-level security and frankly are trusted by many of the top banks across the country. 99% of the Fortune 500 are represented in the ShareFile user base. That's a big deal too. But in terms of encouraging compliance with ShareFile from your customers, that comes back a lot to how you engage in communication relationships with them and the expectations that you set up front with how you talk to each other. If you're engaging with clients and you know there's going to be secure information exchanged, talk about it up front. If you're an attorney engaging with welcome letters, talk about, we use ShareFile in my practice. Maybe it's an email you send out, maybe it's a flyer you share that says, here's what we use, here's why we use it, and here are the environments where we expect to engage with it. And then doing little quick things like including the send secure files in your email signature link just helps provide a reminder for your clients that they need to work through that channel.
Great. Thanks so much, Liz. And security is our bread and butter, and that's who we are. So we thank you for asking that question, and just know that when you use ShareFile to communicate with your clients, you are secure and their data is secure as well. So moving on to the Outlook plugin questions that we received, and we did receive many, but can the Outlook plugin be used with Outlook Online?
I'll take that one too. Yes. So Outlook Online, that's actually the plugin that we use for Mac as well. So when you go to the downloads page, you'll see that as an option. It looks a whole lot like what we demoed today, and is available for that tool.
Awesome. And do my clients need to have a ShareFile account to be able to read my encrypted emails that I send?
Good question. And the answer there is no. Obviously, your clients do not need to pay to use the ShareFile service. We want them to we want to do everything we can to encourage them to share information securely. So they'll get an email that says, someone at X company has sent you an encrypted email, and they can open it and respond to it there. You will need a license for every internal employee that is using the ShareFile product, but your clients do not.
Awesome. All right, so moving on to print to ShareFile, which I'm so excited. We got so much feedback from our customers here in the Q&A that they're excited and they're going to begin using it, but they're not sure about how to get it installed as a print driver. Andrew, do you have any steps that you could just share as to how to install print to ShareFile? Again, all of these apps that we did review, they should be on your ShareFile account. None of them are extra, except for, like we said, the adding encrypted email body to the Outlook plugin. So everybody on this webinar today should have access to print to ShareFile. But Andrew, I think some of our customers are just unsure of how to get that installed as a driver. Could you show that?
Absolutely, and actually don't even need to show it because that tool is so intelligent per se that when you download it, give it about 2 minutes to reflect in your print screen and then open up a new document and go File, Print. It'll automatically appear there for you. So once you download the prompt or go through the download prompts and hit complete, there are no other steps that you need to do.
Awesome. And remember, you can find those apps in your ShareFile account. On the upper right-hand corner, there's a section that says apps. So speaking of apps in general, can apps only be used by admins on the account, one? And two, if they are able to be used by all end users on my account, is there a way for the admin to kind of mass push out these apps to everybody's computer? That's a two-parter.
That's a really good question, and yes is the simple answer. So we do have a MSI installer for those network employees that are all linked to the same network. So if you have an IT admin or someone in-house that's responsible for managing that, go ahead and drop your email address into that chat box, and I can get you that installation file directly to you.
Great. And then just back to that first question, can apps only be used by admins, or can every person who has a ShareFile license in my company use all those apps as well?
Yep, great question. And any employee can use the application as long as you're designated as an employee user.
Excellent. So moving on to Sync. If you are using Sync and you delete a folder from your desktop, is it also deleted in your ShareFile?
Yes.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Yes is the simple answer. When you go into ShareFile and you see that folder is then deleted, if you need to recover that information, the deleted folder and files will be found on your local recycling bin, not in the ShareFile recycling bin. So if you delete it out of the app, the actual File Explorer piece of the app, the end piece, it'll live in your local recycling bin. But if you delete it out of the ShareFile, it'll live in the ShareFile recycling bin. But yes, those changes will be reflected in the web portal.
Excellent. Alrighty, and then on to mobile apps. So when using the mobile app, can you add files to your ShareFile from your phone, or is the mobile app just for files and data that you already have stored in your ShareFile account?
Another really good question and another yes answer. So when you're in your phone, if let's say you download a PDF out of your email, you're on Gmail, and you say, great, I'm going to look at this statement, I'm going to download it. To get it into your ShareFile app, you'll hit share in the app, actually in the mobile PDF. You'll hit share, and ShareFile will be a destination. It'll move it over into that ShareFile application. It depends on Android, operates a little bit differently, but you do just download the file, share it to the ShareFile app, and then you go into the application and you look at your file box, which is that catch-all location you have in the application, and then you can move it around from there.
Great. Thank you. And we have a lot of customers who are interested, Andrew, in your email signature. If you could go back to your email signature within Outlook and show how you have that link added to your signature. Could you just explain, yep, right there, click here to upload files. How did you do that? And why would you recommend having that in your email signature?
Absolutely. So the Request Files button up here in the top right generates these hyperlinks for me. So let me just delete all this and we'll start anew. So if I go up here into Request Files, I can click that once and that'll give me that default temporary link. In order to keep a permanent link that will not expire, the one I have in my email signature, I'll come over here to the right-hand side of Request Files and use this little drop-down and hit Use Custom Settings. I'll pull up the settings for you to see here. So in these settings, you can customize login parameters, duration of the link, etc., destination on a message-by-message level. So here I have this drop-down that says Files and Links expire after 6 months. I'm going to hit Never. And when I hit Never, in turn, I'm creating a permanent hyperlink. So I hit OK. And let me go back into my email here and show it to you. So I see that hyperlink that I just created, and I'm simply going to highlight it, right click, and hit copy. And in the signature box along my toolbar up here, I'm going to drop that down and I'm going to choose signatures. And that's going to bring up this. Can you see that?
We can see it.
Okay, good. So I'm going to choose the signature I want to add it to. So I'll do it to my updated one. I'll click down into it. I'll place it where I want. I'm going to right click. And if I would have copied it, I just hit paste. I put it down in here. I hit save. Okay. And then when I close out of this message and open it up again, essentially refreshing the action, it'll have that hyperlink in the signature line. Now, the second part of that question was, why do I want to do this? Well, we all know nowadays that people are working on different timelines from different locations, and you might not be available to provide that customer that link in a very urgent or sensitive way. Let's say that customer is working outside of your normal business hours. You want to make sure they have a location to send you this information no matter what. So it's a way of training your customers per se and say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Client, you will see this secure hyperlink in my email signature. That's going to be the best way to get me information 24/7, 365. So it's really an ease of use on you as the ShareFile user, and then giving your customer that eternal location to upload secure information.
Awesome. And then just to close this out, when one of your clients does click here to upload files and they upload files, where in your ShareFile does that go?
Really good question. Let me show it to you.
And while he is pulling that up, for those of you asking about the Gmail client, the same use case exists. You can generate the same upload link and modify your Gmail signature too.
Thank you, Liz.
So when I log into my ShareFile account, along my options down the left-hand side, right, I have folders. I'm going to go down here and find the file box. Now, the file box we've talked about a couple times. We've alluded to it. It's that catch-all location for information uploaded to you or transferred with ShareFile. So unless you have specified a location otherwise, it'll go here into the file box. So it's down the left-hand side, second from the top under folders, and then second from the bottom file box. You'll be able to sort this by date, by expiration, or by the creator. If you have in fact required your customer enter some identification information, you can sort this by their name and see what file they uploaded to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andrew and Liz. So we are at time. It is 2:45. I do hope that everyone was able to take away some learnings from our webinar today. It definitely seems like some of our customers today are really excited about starting to use the Outlook plugin or print to share file and even mobile apps. So we're thrilled that you have learned something new today and you will be even more efficient with your ShareFile account. Again, you will receive a link to view this recording at any time. If you did type in the box really quick that you wanted the PowerPoint as well, I'll make sure you get that. Just look for an email from me. And I just wanted to wish everyone a happy and safe holiday season and a happy new year. Liz, Andrew, thank you so much for your presentation and your demonstration today. And Sam and Rebecca and Chris, thank you for answering so many questions today. And of course, thank you all for taking time out of your busy day to spend some time with us. And until next time, have a wonderful day.